UI containers. In this video, we're gonna learn what they are, how you can create one, and we're gonna even dive deeper and show some animations and how to control them, how to connect with them, and so on. They are one of the base building blocks of any UI. Let's get started. If you remember, in the previous video, we've talked about the three main categories: your components, basically your interactables or UI selectable, your containers, what we're gonna talk about today. So these are your views, pop-ups, and anything else, your content, images, text, titles, and so on. And just to bring you up to speed, you may recall we have, let me just hide myself. So we have our components here, we have our containers and our content. So these are the things you should be aware of. Now we're gonna talk about containers. What's special about them? Well, they have show and hide. What is a container? It's basically a panel that appears, you click a button and another panel appears, and so on. So basically this is how a UI works, right? It's not very hard. And right now in Doozy UI, you have your basic UI container and another one that is a bit more complex. It just adds a few more options, the UI view. So these are your views. We will be adding other systems for pop-ups, notifications, tooltips, and so on, but this will happen with a later update. The basic principle is the same. You just have to understand how they work. So let's start creating our first container from nothing right in Unity. So let's just create a new scene right here. Don't save. All right, this is an empty scene. It doesn't have anything, and I would like to create an empty container. So basically a container doesn't have to be an image, just a rect transform, and we will think of it as an empty box that can appear and disappear from the screen, and we can add anything inside of it. We can add other boxes, so other containers. We can add buttons and of course content, images, texts, effects, animations, and so on. All right, so I'm gonna create a canvas. And of course, remember we're using the new input system. We need to select the event system and click here until this becomes the default system. And for the canvas, you can use the render mode set to screen space overlay and work like this. I personally prefer it on screen space camera, but it will work either way. So I'm just gonna say, actually, I'm gonna leave it like that, and then I'm gonna change it because yeah, I just like to have screen space camera. So what is a container? Like I said, it can be any rect transform. And I'm gonna create an empty game object. And this is a game object with a rect transform, and this can be considered our container. We only need to add an image or some visual thing to be able to see it. Right now you can see it here right away. And let's make it as, actually I'm gonna leave it this size. And let's add a UI container. And that's it. Now you have a UI container that you can show and you can hide. And if I enter play mode, I will have the show and hide options, but so I can hide and show, but you won't be able to see anything because it's empty, it's invisible, right? So let's just add an image inside of it. I'm gonna say my container. I'm just gonna rename the game object, and let's also add an image, UI image, right? And let's call this background. And let's make it scale with our container. So now in game view, we can actually see it, right? So let's enter play mode. And like I said, every container has show and hide. So now I can hide and you can actually see it because we're disabling the canvas. So If we wouldn't do this, you wouldn't be able to, you would see it, right? And of course the graphic raycaster. So show, hide. You can also disable the game object, and you will notice this happens here. So hide, show, and again you can see right there that I'm disabling the game object. It really depends on your particular use case. All right. So right now I have this empty container. Let's add some text inside of it. Let's make it a bit bigger. I'm gonna change this crazy white. Actually, first I want to change the background of the camera because I really hate this blue to, I don't know, 18, something very dark. All right. So now my game view looks like that. And let's also change the color of the background to a nice teal, maybe. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's nicer. All right. So let's make it a bit bigger. So 300 by 300. And this is our container. Oh yeah, this is crazy for the eyes. Let's go darker. There you go. I really like the dark theme, by the way. So let's add some text. Again, if you remember, this is our content. We have a image, not non-interactable, so it's content. We have some text, non-interactable, again, content. So we are using right now container and content, two of the main ingredients for any UI. Let's continue. So I'm gonna say here, my container. Let's just look here a bit. Let's center it, align it, right. There we go. And auto size maximum of 30. Yeah, this looks pretty well. Okay. Again, this container does what it's supposed to do. It disables, when hidden, disable the canvas and the graphic raycaster. So basically, I don't want to see it, right? So let's just enter play mode and check it out. Hide, show. All right, that's it. Now, you may wonder, okay, this looks, it works, but it's not really a modern UI. So I would like to add some animations. That's why you're here, basically. So let's say Doozy UI Animators, and I would like an animator for a container. And here, what can I see? Well, we have free for this particular version 4.0.1. We have a color animator, a sprite animator, and a UI animator. I would like to use a UI animator for now. This is the one that handles movement, rotation, scale, and alpha or transparency. So I'd like to click that. And right away, we have a UIContainer UI Animator. If you remember, I told you that every single thing in the containers category is a UI container. So basically, what I'm doing now will work for views, pop-ups, notifications, alerts, tooltips, and so on. So you will see later that we're going to swap the component, the UI container component, with a UIView component, and it will work, right? What do we have here? Yeah. All right. So right away, you see here that this UI container UI Animator has a controller. This is the controller. And how does this connection work? Well, basically, whenever this UI container calls show or hide, it will trigger this animation. And we need to use, instead of using the callbacks, you can also do it via callbacks. But the system is smarter than that. And I'm going to show you in a minute why. The animations, if you're showing and the show animation didn't finish and you click hide, it will reverse the show animation. Likewise, if you're hiding and you click show, it will reverse the hide animation. Let me show you because it's easier to understand. So right away here, I know that I have a move for the show animation and a move for the hide animation. And let's just look at it. So we're moving from the left side in 0.3 seconds, and we're hiding to the right side in 0.3 seconds. And I've just added this component. So let me just remove it. And again, I'm going to say UIContainer UI Animator. I just added it. And now just enter play mode. And because they automatically connect, the editor script does that for you, so you don't have to. Now when I click hide, check it out. It's animated. And it's pretty easy to do. And you can also change your animations. So let's say I would like to have a rotation from -60, for example, in 0.3 for show. So let's hide, and now check it out. And I would like to rotate for hide. Actually, let's scale. All right, let's scale to start value +1 +1, so to 2, scale of 2. So let's hide. There you go. And this is how it looks. Now, what I've told you, let's exit play mode and let's set the animation for 3 seconds and 3 seconds. I would like to show you something right now. And let me also add a scale for 3 seconds. You will understand in a second what I'm talking about. And again, 3 seconds and from -60. All right. So the system is a bit smarter than it appears at first glance. It also knows how to reverse animations so that everything looks nice. So if I'm showing, let's hide. And now let's show. All right. This is how it looks. You're going to see it in scene view. So let's hide. And it goes perfectly. This is because the animations are math based. They move as they should. And let's show. All right. Now, I told you that if an animation, if the hide animation is in progress, if it's hiding, and you click show, the view won't snap, won't jump to the show animation. It will reverse the hide animation. Check it out. So I'm clicking hide, and now I'm going to click show. So it reverses the animation. It doesn't play the show animation. Again, let's hide. And when I'll click show, and now I'm going to click hide, check it out. Yeah. So that was a bug, by the way. So let's hide. So let's click show and hide. So it's able to reverse the animation. Yeah. Show, hide. Again. And hide, and again show. And this is important because you want the user to have a good experience, and the container should not jump around on the screen regardless of your animations. And this is one of the special things that Doozy does under the hood for you. What the system is designed to do is to give a good experience. You've noticed I didn't write a single line of code, right? All right. Another thing, you can play instant animation, so you can say show, hide, and this will work. And this is how it looks. So hide, and we click show, right? And of course we can click show and now hide, and it just reverses. All right, so basically this is how the animations work. Let's also load some presets from here. I would like you to look at the animation. You see here we have a show animation. So we have different types of animation. We have show, hide, loop, button, scale, reset, custom. Each one is specially designed for the defined purpose. Because this is a show animation, how does it look? Let's just remove the rotation. Let's say 1 second. And you'll notice that here we have move from, and here we select left. Of course, we can also use a drop-down list, but you have this nifty little widget to help you. So if I say I want to show from here, the system will calculate the position from where the container should be shown from. All right. Now, if we go to hide, let's remove the scale and check it out. Let's see 1 second. You will notice that we do not have the widget here, but we have it here, move to. So we give the destination. If this would be a show animation, you would have it here, and it's nonsense. But this should be a hide animation. Basically, the difference between show animation and hide animation is the math that is behind each one. So for the show animation, the start position is calculated, and for the hide animation, the destination, the to position, is calculated. And let's see it in action in real time. So let's play with the show, all right? If I say hide, now if I click show, it's gonna come from the right. Let's have a show from the bottom. So I've just set bottom here, and check it out. Yeah, let's say top left, right? So top left would be there for you. There you go. So what it does, and I'm going to say start delay 2 seconds. Let's go to scene view. What this thing does is say, if I say, where is it? Come on, hide. If I say show from top left, it will calculate this position and move it right here, right? So I'm going to say show. This is where it is. And after 2 seconds, it will appear. The same thing for hide. It will, so let's say duration 0.5. Let's move faster. So let's say move hide down. It will calculate the position to be here, right? So let's say hide. There you go. Show and hide. So this is the main difference between show and hide. And these are the basic animations for the containers. Of course, you can use show and hide for different things, not only containers. But this is the main purpose for which they were created for, right? So let's go to show. Let's say move from middle right, right? So hide and show. Let's remove the start delay. All right. So this is how a container works with show and hide. It's not complicated. And of course, you also have special presets. So when you have the show animation selected, in this case, show, right? All the presets here are from the show animation. Let me just open Reactor. Right now, you cannot preview them in the editor, but you can load them. So you have 351 presets for show, 351 presets for hide. So basically you have a lot of animations out of the box available that you can actually load. To preview them, we will add here an editor previewer because there are quite a lot. But right now, if you want to use them, you just select, let's say, organic one. Actually, let's enter play mode just to check them out. You can load them like that. And all containers will be able to use these animations, right? And let me show you. So now it says hide and show a simple animation. Let's go to presets. Let's load back the first one, preset number 1, load. And you'll see here that a scale animation was enabled and a fade animation was enabled. And it says in duration 0.6. So it's a fade and a scale and a move, right? So hide. And this is, I don't know. So if you can see it, it's just hide, show. And usually when our designer created these animations, they were made in pairs. So here I'm going to say presets, back, load preset, and they should match. Let's say, okay, I like this animation, but I would like it to come from the bottom. You can also change them because you just loaded the settings. So let's go to show, move, and instead of left, move from the bottom. And I would like to hide going to the top. So hide, move, and again, go to the top. So now you just change the animation. Let me show you in the game view. So hide and show. Let's say, okay, I would also like some rotations. So you can, you get the idea. You can customize your animations. So say I would like show to have a, actually I would like the scale to last a bit longer, and hide. Again, I would like it to move a bit faster, a bit slower. So let's say hide and show. And we just changed the way the animations work. That's it. All right. So I've shown you how to add some animations, how to customize them, how to play with the presets. Actually, let me show you a few more presets, just so you can see you have quite a wide variety, and you can mix and match, you can customize, you can change the time, you can change basically anything depending on your use case. So let's just load, let's say jelly number 5. I have no idea what it does. And for hide, I'm gonna say zoom number 5. Again, I have no idea how they look, so hide and show. So this is how it works. Let's load another one. Fade, actually this shouldn't be organic number 16, all right? And for the hide, let's use actually again organic number 16. So organic 1, number 16, load. All right, so let's see, hide and show. So you can create a lot of I never saw this animation before. Yeah, it's very nice. Good job, Claude. All right. Yeah, this looks good. So this is how you can customize your animation. Now, let's look at some of the options that we have here. You have on start behavior. Right now it's disabled. So basically you're telling this container when at start, don't do anything. So you can say on start, instant hide. This means, so right now, if I say disabled, when we enter play mode, nothing will happen because the on start behavior is disabled, right? So let's exit play mode and let's write here instant hide. What does it do? Well, I think you guessed, you won't see it because it will have been instantly hidden, right? And there you go. It's not there. We can click show. And I know it's hidden because here these are disabled, right? Again, you can say instant show, but it is already visible. Hide. So when we enter play mode, it will play the hide animation. There you go. You just saw it for a fraction of a second. And it can also play the show animation. So basically it will say an instant hide and then a show. It's magic. Actually, it's not. All right, so you have some options at start. Now let's say I would like to auto hide after the container has been shown. This can be a toast, an alert maybe, or something like that, and say after show has been called, after the container has been shown, I would like it to hide after 3 seconds. So yeah, let's leave it like that. Let's say on start behavior show. I'm not gonna touch anything. Look at my hands. And after 3 seconds, it should call hide. There you go. So if I say show, again, 1, 2, 3, it should call hide. And this is how this works. All right. Let's continue. You may have noticed here we have a custom start position. What is that? Well, usually your UI will have a lot of containers. And in order to work with them, you may want to have your entire UI in the scene. You may want it you may want to be able to see it. So if this were disabled and this container would be here, actually let's put it here. Let's enter play mode. so the start animation would be right there. Notice that I didn't do anything to change the positions, and the system already knows how to move. So let's say show, it knows how to maintain its position and to hide. The animation changed, but because it's mask-based, it works. So let's say you have the container here. You may have another one that is here. Let's say my container 2, and let's just change the background to, I don't know, different color. Yeah, this blue. Let's say 1, and you will be 2, right? So my container 1. All right. So now when we have this here, let's say container 2 will have custom start position in the center, and container 1 will not have a custom start position. And let's disable the initial behavior and also the auto hide, just so we can see what's happening. What do you think will happen now? Well, container number 1 will remain where it is and you will never see it. Container number 2 will snap at position 0, 0, 0. So basically we'll snap right here. And you can also do it like that. So set. Yeah. So let's enter play mode and we will see container number 2. There you go. Container number 1 is somewhere up in our scene. It's right there. You cannot see it and you will never see it. You can say hide and show, but you will never see it. Unlike container number 2. So hide and show, that is visible in our game view. So this is a very special functionality for custom start position, because by default is enabled to the center of the screen. But you may want container number 1 to be here. And let's actually anchor it right there. And container number 2, you may want it to have there, to have it there, right? And here you can say get position, and here again, get position. Of course, because we have the anchor there, it doesn't matter. But when we enter play mode, there where they are supposed to be. So let's try the animation. So hide and show, and again hide and show. Let's also select them both, hide and show. But you may have more, even more containers, because you already have this enabled here. I can say you can be here, you can be here. I don't really care, because I know that they will snap to that position. Check it out. There you go. So hide and show. Let's actually make them disappear in different, let's make number 1. So let's say move from the bottom and hide to the top. Actually, yeah, no, hide. So moves and goes down. And for container 2, I'd like it to come from the top and also hide to the same direction. Yeah. So now let's also play both of their animations. So hide and show. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Of course, the position is 0, 0 because their anchors are different. So this is anchored here. So this is its anchor, let's say set. And this is its anchor here, set position, right? If their anchors would be the center of the screen, now this is the position that, let's say get, and you get these values. And here you say get, and you have the same thing. The only problem with this implementation is that it doesn't respect anchors. So when you change the screen size, of course they will work. I'm just showing you. But if we change, let's say there you go. If we change our resolution or on our target device, because they're using these positions instead of anchored positions, well, this is what happens. They lose their position. So yeah, they are no longer, of course, they will work regardless of the size of the screen of their particular size. So let's say if my container 1 is 200 and container 2 is 600, right? It really doesn't matter. So actually, let's change the height. So let's say 600 and container 2, let's say again 400. Again, when you hide it, the math will work for you and they will disappear as expected, as you can see here. So even though I changed the size, the animation adjusted instantly. If you go to a portrait mode, let's say hide and show, of course, this is not anchored, so it looks awful, but you get the idea. They will adapt. So hide, so they have a longer travel distance. All right, so how can we fix this? Well, let's first set the anchor and get position, and set the anchor on the other side and get position. All right, so now, regardless of the resolution or the screen size, there will always be, actually it's like that, anchored in this position, right? So let's check it out. So let's hide and show. And now let's change the resolution to, I don't know, something. As you can see, they follow your screen. Let's hide, let's change the resolution, and let's show. There you go. So this is one of the main advantages of using this system, because the math, right. The math behind it works like that. All right, last thing. We have when hide, disable game object, canvas, graphic raycaster. What this does is when after you've played the hide animation, or you've called hide, the canvas, the graphic raycaster, and or the game object will get disabled, depending on your use case. You may want to disable the game object or not. So if I say for the container 1, disable game object, and not for the container 2, you will notice, let's enter play mode, that container 1 will have its game object disabled, so set active false, while container 2 will not. So let's just call hide. And notice here that this is disabled. There you go. When I click show, it works. When I click hide, they all get disabled. 1, 2, 3, there you go. And here, let's say show, notice that the game object isn't disabled, right? Again, it's all on your particular use case. Now, let's say you want to connect them. Let's say I would like number 2 to be connected to number 1. And this is where the magic starts to happen. I would say this will be a blue image, let's say. All right. Now, I'm going to remove the container from here. And I'm going to say controller, my container 1. So right now, my container 1 can animate these 2 things. Check it out. All right. So let's say hide. Why does it work? Well, because they're now connected. So basically you can do a lot of things. Let's say I would like number 1 to scale. So let me show you. Now we're getting to some really nice animations. Let's say I would like when I click hide, that text, that one text, I would like it to scale out. So let's say UI Animator. All right. I will connect my, oh, it's already connected. And I will say, I do not want to move. I would like it to scale. When I show it, I would like to scale from 0. So custom value 0, 0. Don't touch the z-axis. Text Mesh Pro doesn't like that. All right. So I'm going to scale it in 0.6 so we can also see it. And let's put them out back. All right. And when I hide it, again, I would like a scale animation from the current value. Again, in 0.3, in back, and I would like to custom value to 0, actually. Yeah, 0, 0. Look here. Let me just select a different resolution. Check out this one. You're gonna like it. So now, nothing happened. But we're also animating the scale of this text. Did you see it? Let's move a bit slower. Let's say 0.3. And for the hide, I'm gonna say 0.6. Actually, let's make the movement slower. Let's say 2 seconds for show and 2 seconds for hide. So you can chain a lot of animations. You can add a lot of things. It's really fun. So hide. You notice the text. Actually, let's make this animation for the show. Let's say scale in after 1 second in 1 second. Check it out. Hide. You've noticed that. So let's show. And there you go. So you can connect a lot of animations. What about color? We also have color animation. You can also do that. So let's say blue. I'm going to add, where's your image? Right here. Let's just kill the text. Let's play with the color. So I'm going to say UIContainer color animator. Again, I'm going to use the same container. Basically, I'm using this container to control this thing's color, right? So here, and I'll say, let's enable the animation. So when you show, I'd like it to come from an alpha, from a 0 to here. And when you hide, I'd like to color custom value. Let's say red. I want to see a red color when you hide, right? Does it work? Well, of course it does. So hide and show. Actually, we're in play mode. Did I do that in play mode? Yeah, my bad. Okay, let's kill this. Did we change this here? Yeah. Oh my God, I really wanted to show you this. So let's say 1 second. Oh, let's say the movement should be in 2 seconds. I'm just showing you that you can connect animations in a lot of ways. All right, so we've made this. Let's see what we have right now. And after that, I'm gonna add a color animation. This is quite easy actually. So hide and show. And of course, we can also change this. So let's say I would like this to have a different animation. Let's just load a preset. Drop 1 for show, I don't know. And let's say drop 1 for hide. Again, I have no idea how they work. But I would like to add a color animation, right? So let's say add color animator. And let's connect our container. So right now it doesn't do anything. Let's enable our animation. Oh, it's already enabled. And let's say when you show, I would like you to have a custom value from, let's say, red in 2 seconds. And when you hide, again, I would like you to color to a custom value. And let's say another color, magenta, for example. Yeah, these are crazy colors that you can see. And I would like the move animation to be slow. Let's say 2 seconds and no fade. Yeah, I need to change this. I'm moving fast just to show you how it works. It's really not that complicated. And no scale. Actually, yeah. Only movement. Yeah. All right. So what are we doing now? Our container animates the container, animates this blue image, right? Animates this text scale, and it also changes this this image's color just with a simple, there you go, and show. That's it. And you are the one deciding how you want to create your UI. Now, let's put the blue image inside here. Let's put it like that. Let's say 50-50. There you go. Let's move this in the center of the screen. And now we have even more animations. It's really nice. I can play with this all day. I love this. So hide and show. There you go. And I've seen it here, so I'm gonna add a mask. Let's just use another animation. I'm just playing with this. So let's just use a scale animation in 1 second and 2 seconds. So for show, yeah, you should show in 2 seconds. And for hide, again, let's use a scale animation. Wait 1 second and hide in 1 second. And let's also add a erect mask. All right, just to hide that, hide this thing. Let's make blue image. Yeah, something like that. All right. So now we can have a little bit of fun as we're animating a lot of stuff. So hide and show. Yeah, it's not the greatest, but you get the idea. And what else do I want to show you? Well, remember when I told you that all the UI containers, regardless of their name, are interchangeable? Well, we're working with a UI container here, right? But we can use a UI view. Of course, if you want to add it here, UI view. Let's remove this. And now let's change our controller. So we put it like that. In our background, do we have anything here? No. Here we need this controller. We just need to assign the controller, otherwise it doesn't work. And this. And right away we have another component that has category and name, so that it has a few more options, and it will work just the same. Yeah, so hide and show. There you go. All right, so this is the basic thing with a container. It can have anything. Now, it does take a lot of time to create an UI and create your designs. So I'm gonna delete this. And I'm gonna use the UI menu because that is why it exists. And you would probably see it like that. I'm just gonna anchor it here. And I'll say I would like a container. I would like a UI view. And right away, it adds a UI view with an animation and a colored background. This is the background, by the way. So it's already there. And you can start working. So now that you understand how you can create a container, how it works, you can use it from the UI view and just, there you go. Now I have a container that I can animate and I can play with it and so on. And of course you can have another container inside the container. For the UI view, for example, I can say, do you have any categories here? No, let's create a view category. And let's say menu, and let's say home, for example. Let's add a settings, and let's add a I don't know, quit maybe. Yeah, There you go. We have a few things in the database. So now we can select menu home. We can rename it. You check out the game object name there. I'm just going to click this rename button and say view menu home. It's just the easy way to show it. We can also rename, reorder these in a more easy to understand way. No, it's already in a good way. Doesn't matter. So yeah. Should I show you the Node? No, it's too early. All right, so that's pretty much it for the containers and for the UI Animator. In the next video, I will talk a lot more about the UI Animator because a button has even more animations for all its different states, and not a button per se, but this. So components, toggles, sliders, switches, they all have 5 states. So here we have show and hide, only 2 things that we need to manage. For a button, you would have 5 states. And I think that we need to cover how the animations work, play with different settings and so on. So we can dive into the buttons at full speed and you will see how they work. So basically, I would like to show you these settings and explain them. There are a lot. And also, I'm going to show you differences between animation types because there are there are a few differences that are important. Note that you can shoot yourself in the leg if you use a different type of animation. So for example, if you do not use a show here and use a different animation, it may not work as you expect it to do. We decided not to add any restrictions because you can create a lot of interesting animations with this system and you have full creative control over it. But it is advisable for a show animation. So for the UI container show to use a show animation, for a UI container hide to use a hide animation. And again, for a button. So let's go with a simple button. I'm just going to add it here. So for a button, we recommend you use, here you have what animation for normal. This is a reset animation. Highlighted has a custom animation and so on. This is the state animation. So it just depends on your use case. So I will have to explain them to you in order to have a better grasp on what you're doing. All right, so this was it for the UI view. Let's go with a full screen. Oh, the camera is a bit messed up right there. There you go. Sorry about that. These sessions are actually live, so there are no editing. Just so you can see that there's no magic behind of it. This is how it works. So I might mess up from time to time. So yeah, it happens. Other than that, thank you for watching. In the next video, we're gonna dive in the animations so that I can explain the components, the buttons, and how each state works after that, of course. All right, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.